Welcome to CandleLight Audiobooks. The Secret Misses. Chapter 91. This brainless moron was quickly angering Emma to death. Don't you see, because of this situation, everyone is starting to sympathize with her. Are you going to let her stand up and continue to partner with your brother Mai? Mia hesitated for a moment, but refused to relent. Anyway, I won't go. Want me to apologize to that bitch? Might as well ask me to die. What kind of effect could such a small incident have? She just needed to buy some small gifts later to shut these people up. Seeing that she couldn't be persuaded in the slightest, Emma could only give up and hope that she wouldn't make any more mistakes from now on. It was a foregone conclusion that Luna's reputation was ruined. No matter what schemes she had, she could only play this type of small trick. How could she possibly turn things around? It wouldn't be long before the anonymous sponsor dumped her. Who would want a lover with a messy reputation who would cheat on him? At the thought of this, Emma calmed down a little. In the end, David decided to avoid conflict, and didn't have them redo the scene. They would just use the clip of Luna spitting up blood after being hit. The second scene to be shot today was when Ella was declared the imperial concubine, and Princess Daisy, who had lost the Emperor's favor, was banished to the Cold Palace. Ella went to the Cold Palace to visit Princess Daisy and reveal her true identity to her. Luckily it was a safer scene, which didn't involve much action, and was focused instead on expressions and dialogue. 3, 2, 1, action. Filming began. In the Cold Palace, Princess Lena sat on a wide chair and looked disdainfully at the pathetic woman who had fallen at her feet as if she was already dead. Princess Daisy, do you know why I hate you so much? Why I have to put you to death? Bitch. You're just jealous of me. Jealous that the Emperor likes me. Jealous that I have his favor. Princess Lena laughed as if she had heard a really good joke. Me, jealous? Jealous that you have that disgusting old man's favor? Princess Lena. Are you crazy? I'll tell the Emperor. I'll tell the Emperor that you were being insulting. Princess Lena suddenly looked at her with somber eyes, silencing Princess Daisy. Then she said, very slowly, Princess Daisy, do you know who I am? Do you still remember the name Ella? You. Even after a long while, Mia couldn't say anything more than that. David yelled, cut, again. The second take started. Princess Daisy, do you know who I am? Do you still remember the name Ella? This time, Luna's eyes were sharper than in the previous take, like a hangman's noose strangling the other party to death. You are. Stop, again. The third take started. Princess Daisy, do you know who I am? Do you still remember the name Ella? With each take, Luna's mood had become more and more intense. This time, she said the line in the tone of a malevolent, vengeful spirit, and even the people watching could feel her endless, overflowing anger and resentment. You're Ella. How can you be? Mia was like a stuck radio, and she forgot the words yet again. Cut. David finally lost his patience this time, and he dropped the script in a furious temper. Mia, what's the matter with you? You can't even recite such a simple line. Have you even read the script at all? David really couldn't be blamed for his anger. Luna's mood this time had been so amazing, he couldn't help but be excited. He could have had the perfect take, but it was ruined by Mia's idiotic mistake. Chapter 92. The staff who were watching this all showed scornful expressions. Is Mia retarded? Repeating the same line over and over again, even I can recite it now. You are Ella? How can you be Ella? Ella is already dead. Such a short line, how hard can it be to memorize it? That post said that Luna's acting sucks, but they really should see Mia, then they will know what real bullshit is. Actually, Luna's a good actress. Do you realize that up to now, all her scenes were done after only one take? Her only NGs were because of mistakes by other people. You're right. I thought she was just being herself, but she did a great job pulling off a young Ella yesterday. Even though she was teasing Adam, for some reason, it didn't make me feel uncomfortable. Instead, it actually made my heart speed up. That's right, that's right. I was so excited watching it yesterday. If someone else is switched in, I wouldn't be happy about it at all. It feels like in my heart, Luna really is Ella. Emma hadn't expected that an even worse situation would occur, and she immediately cursed Mia hundreds of times in her heart. On the surface, she pretended to show concern as she walked over to her. Mia, what happened? Are you not feeling okay today? Mia was caught up in her anger, and going crazy. I also don't know what's wrong with me today. When I look at Luna, my mind just blanks out, like I've been cursed. How is that possible? Emma actually didn't believe Mia, and assumed it was because of her own normally bad acting and laziness. However, she held on to her patience and comforted her. Take it slow, I'll run the lines with you. Emma ran the scene with her, and in the end, Mia recited the lines fluently. See, you can do it, right? Emma encouraged her. Mia immediately regained her confidence, and ran to look for the director. Director, I'm ready now. During this time, David had calmed down, and his expression was more relaxed. Then let's start. However, this time, Mia still forgot all her lines. She was unsatisfied, and tried again and again. In the end, she continuously NG'd 28 times in total. It was such an easy scene, yet the two of them filmed until night fell, and still weren't done. In the end, the whole production crew wound up complaining. They were filming a movie, not a TV show, and had to use a lot of film. That many NGs was a waste of manpower and money. By the 33rd NG, Mia stood there blankly, then suddenly screamed like a maniac, and rushed furiously at Luna. Luna, you be*TCH, what did you do to me? Why can't I remember my lines? Why? It's you. You did this. All the assistants waiting by the side quickly ran to pull her away, but in her madness she pushed all of them off her, even scratching Emma, who was trying to help. This really made everyone hate her. She is such a retard, still able to blame others for the fact she can't remember her lines? Does she think other people can drill into her brain to steal her lines? She doesn't even feel the least bit guilty for making everyone work so late. Poor Luna, to have provoked someone like that. Don't you think what happened last night was pretty weird? This thing happened to Luna as soon as Adam came on set. If Luna was kicked out of the production, who would benefit the most? Do you still need to ask? At these words, everyone had knowing looks on their faces. Chapter 93. In the end, everyone wrapped up unhappily, and after Mia's outburst, the director stopped filming for 2 days for Mia to get herself together. As Luna was about to leave after getting her makeup taken off, Emma came in without her noticing, and crossed her arms as she looked down on Luna. Luna, I never knew you were such a schemer. Huh? Am I? Luna looked with a half-smile at the wound on Emma's arm where Mia had scratched her, then blinked, an innocent look on her face. Isn't it that you have too good an eye, and really know how to pick your teammate? You. Emma gritted her teeth, her chest aching with anger. How was she to know that Mia could be so brainless? There was already so much dirt on Luna, yet Mia was able to wipe her clean of it, to the point that everyone's attitude towards Luna was starting to change. She had to think of a way to counter Luna's next move. She couldn't let her stand back up again, no matter what. As Luna walked out after that little confrontation with Emma, her cell phone beeped with an incoming message. Evil Fairy King, I'm waiting for you at the alley in the front. Luna replied cautiously, we leave separately, see you at home, I'll look for you at your place. An hour later, at the Platinum Palace No. 6. As soon as Luna arrived at the door, Adam immediately pulled her inside, peering left and right as if he was an underground spy. Before, he hadn't minded if people thought that there was something between him and Luna. In fact, he had actually wanted people to know that they were acquainted, but after this incident, he couldn't help thinking about all his previous actions. Luna put her bag down, kicked off her shoes, and sat cross-legged on the sofa. The first thing she asked, with her hand out, was, "Did you take the video?" Adam looked speechlessly at how she didn't care about her image. This damn woman, she had never seen him as a man, had she? Why was she always so casual and thoughtless in front of him, like a hooligan, exactly like the one she was in the movie? Do you think I'm also a pig teammate? Of course I filmed it. Adam ill-naturedly handed his phone to her. When she had said she was going to pretend to be a little white flower, he had guessed what she was going to do, so of course he had recorded the highlights. Luna took the phone and pressed play, nodding in satisfaction. Good job. One more drumstick for you. After saying that, she logged on to Weibo and put up a post on her official account. Of course it wasn't an apology, like Sophia wanted, but just one phrase: clean hands need no washing. After she posted it, she logged into her side account and messaged a gossip blogger who covered everything about Glory World, and sent him the video of Mia's continuous NGs. As expected of two companies that were sworn enemies, it wasn't long after Luna messaged the blogger that he immediately posted the video, along with an eye-catching title, NG'd 33 times, #1 flower vase in the entertainment industry gives you an example of real shady acting. Adam looked at her. You only sent this one? You're not going to use the others? It was hard for me to film secretly. Luna was busy reading comments. This one is enough to get the ball rolling. Do you think you were the only one who took videos? By the way, why didn't you use that move earlier on Mia? If you had done it sooner, she would have been switched out long ago, and all this drama wouldn't have happened. I still had to endure that woman for 2 days. Adam grumbled in complaint. Not one person on set understood why Mia had NG'd non-stop, only Adam knew exactly what had happened. In Chinese slang, flower vase has the same meaning as eye candy. Chapter 94. It was because of Luna's deliberate pressure acting. Pressure acting was something only very experienced actors could pull off. By deliberately amping up their acting, an actor could put extreme mental pressure on the other party, making them act abnormally, forget lines continually, or more seriously, even leave the other party with a lifelong psychological trauma which would be hard to overcome. There were very few in the entertainment industry who could do this. The most important thing was that it was very difficult to pick out, as you couldn't be sure whether the other party was just acting really well or was deliberately pressure acting. Therefore, it could be said that this method could hurt people invisibly, without leaving any trace. Luna gave him a haughty look. Of course you can't simply let loose your ultimate move. This method could only work under certain circumstances, like in today's scene with Mia. The other thing about this method was that it seriously slowed down the speed of filming, so she would only use it as a last resort. Adam couldn't help recalling some unpleasant memories, and he curled his lips. Then I really am honored to be one of the few on whom you let loose your ultimate move. Luna had used this pressure method on him years before, but he wasn't like Mia that trash. In the end, he had stood firm and overcame it, and his acting had developed by leaps and bounds for it. After speaking, Adam stared at her with a sudden light in his eyes. Dinner tonight? You promised to eat with me, just the two of us. You also promised to play PC games with me. It was true that last time, Luna had been in the wrong, so she could only sigh and say, okay, I'll eat with you and play PC games with you, okay? Just let me text Theo to let him know. Hearing this, Adam's expression instantly changed. You're just a temporary sedative, why do you have to report to him that you're not going back? What is really going on between you and Theo? Even though this text is to Theo, it's for little treasure, okay? Luna was lazy to respond to him, and focused on texting. Sweet darling, Auntie is busy tonight and will probably be home very late. Make sure you eat properly and sleep well. Next time Auntie is free, I'll buy you some cute outfits. Love you, moi moi. Seeing the text, Adam got so angry that his eyes turned red. Why are you being so gentle with little treasure? When you were with me, you were never that gentle, and instead you always beat me up at a single word. Luna slanted a look at him. You deserved it. Little treasure is so cute, how can you compare with him? Flames burned in Adam's beautiful eyes. Luna. Did you ever like me at all? Did you get close to me just to? Luna looked at him in surprise. Nonsense, of course not. You. Adam pointed at her, unable to speak at all. Luna cradled her jaw and smiled as she looked at him. So? Are you done being angry? Still want to eat? Adam gritted his teeth. Yes. He definitely couldn't fall into her trap. At the same time, at the Goldberg residence, Cleo sat on the sofa with a pillow in his arms. If he had a tail, it would be wagging fast enough to fly off. Bro, tell me, what on earth happened last night? Because of Luna's comment that morning that he needed a woman, Theo's face was still gloomy, and he wasn't in the mood at all to satisfy Cleo's gossipy heart. Was it because you couldn't restrain the flames of love, lost control, and ran off to attack her in the middle of the night, but in the end, before you got serious, you woke Luna up, and you found yourself in a dilemma, so you simply decided to pretend you were sleepwalking? Cleo's ability to fantasize was the real deal. Theo raised his eyes to look at him. Did this person use all his intelligence on this kind of thing? Cleo knew he had guessed right after seeing his brother's expression, and immediately started to think highly of himself. My God, I'm just too smart. Brother, am I not the apple of your eye? Chapter 95. Cleo looked like he was expecting praise and a reward. Theo responded generously. Vacation extended to a month. Cleo was so excited he almost jumped up to do a whole set of exercises right there, but instantly he felt immeasurable regret. Brother, you'll start to lose momentum if you let this drag on. Why didn't you seize the chance to go all the way with her? Such a pity. Theo looked at him coldly. What do you think the consequences would be if I had done that? Cleo stroked his jaw, and spoke in a low voice. You've been using little treasure as an excuse all this time to make her lower her guard, so that she would slowly become less wary of you. If you give the game away now, Luna would immediately run for the hills. Theo. Even though it was the truth, hearing Cleo lay it all out so bluntly really spoiled his mood. Actually, he had intended to go all the way with her last night regardless of anything, but Luna's extreme rejection and fearful reaction had cleared his head in a flash. What happened after that proved that his method for dealing with it had been right, otherwise he might have really scared Luna away in that situation. Why had she reacted that way? What had she experienced before? Brother, can I ask you something? Why has your mood been so erratic lately? Did something happen? Cleo asked cautiously. Actually, Cleo was putting it mildly. In reality, his brother had been acting just like a woman on her period, with an irritable and unstable temper. Theo tapped out a rhythm on the arm of his chair with one long finger, and said quietly, Adam was the one who sent the flowers that day. What did you say? Cleo blanked out for quite a while before reacting to what Theo had said, and he immediately jumped to his feet in anger. Sheet! Adam is the evil fairy king. Didn't he just get back the day before yesterday? I even got word that he was going to play the second male lead in the world. He didn't expect Adam and Luna to have this type of connection. There had to be a hidden reason for why that kid had suddenly returned to the country, and why the first movie he was starring in after coming back happened to be this one. If it was because he knew that he and Luna would have many intimate scenes together, TSK. Let me think, did he and Luna meet up? And you saw them? And furthermore, what you saw was an incriminating scene? Theo. Cleo's guesses, all correct. My God, no wonder you've been acting so strange lately. Cleo paced back and forth. I can't believe we have a traitor in our midst. What about YS? Did you discover anything? There was a dark light in Theo's eyes. The man who delivered the diamond disappeared after leaving the set, and the diamond's origin can't be traced. Most likely, it was smuggled in. Cleo's lips curled, and he was a little speechless. Yet another headache. Don't tell me it's someone who is also connected to the Goldberg family? Why? Is there anyone with these initials around us? I don't recall there being any. Sigh, his brother's love life was so complicated. Other people had the romantic comedy, his brother had the detective mystery. At this moment, Theo's cell phone beeped. It was a text from Luna. After reading it, a dangerous creature slumbering in Theo's eyes started to move. Curious, Cleo approached him. Luna's text, what did she say? Why did his brother look like his wife had cheated on him? Theo stared at the text for a few seconds, then made a direct call. In Villa number 6, Luna quickly picked up the call. Hello, Theo, what's up? Did you see my text? Don't forget to show it to little treasure. I saw it, where are you? Theo asked. Luna looked at Adam, who was busy in the kitchen trying to show off his cooking skills. I'm at Adam's place, I have something I need to discuss with him, plus he just returned from overseas, so we're eating together as a welcome for him. Chapter 96. Okay, got it, I'll be there soon, Theo said calmly. Luna on the other end was shocked. You're coming? Why, problem? Theo answered with his own question, his tone cold. No. I guess. Theo sounded so matter-of-fact, that she couldn't object in that moment. Seeing Luna's complicated expression after the call, Adam asked, what's up? Who was it? Your uncle, he said he's coming. What? The soup spoon dropped from Adam's hand to the floor. Heartbroken, he pointed at her accusingly. Luna, you said nothing was going on between you and him. This is our dinner together, did you ask him to come? Calm down, can you not get angry so easily? Luna gave him a haughty look. I didn't invite him, he asked where I was, and I replied truthfully that I was going to give you a welcome dinner, then he said he was coming. Maybe he's coming here to have dinner together because as your elder, he feels he should show you some concern. This is normal logic. Adam threw a bowl on the floor. Normal your butt. Do you think Theo is that amiable and approachable a person? Even eating with me? When my mom invites him over for dinner, she has to be scheduled in, sometimes up to 6 months later. Unapproachable is his middle name. Luna threw a pillow at him impatiently. You hopeless kid, can't someone show you some concern? And why do you always put me and Theo together? In what way are we actually compatible? Adam murmured to himself, this is a man's instinct, what do you know? As they were fighting, the doorbell rang. Luna glared at Adam to warn him not to speak nonsense, then stood up to answer the door. As soon as the door opened, Luna's eyes lit up, because a little bun was standing next to Theo. As soon as little treasure saw her, he threw himself at her with open arms, like a little sparrow seeing its mama. Luna's heart melted as she quickly picked him up and hugged him. Darling, you came too. Just now Auntie was still feeling sad that I couldn't have dinner with you tonight. In the house, Adam looked at Luna holding little treasure, then at Theo, who was looking at the two of them indulgently. They gave the impression of being a family of 3. He didn't expect Luna to be this close to little treasure. Little treasure was an even more difficult existence than his dad. As for Theo, his attitude towards Luna was very strange. Even if it was for little treasure's sake, given Theo's personality, how could he tolerate living under the same roof with an unfamiliar woman? Hey, don't forget me, I'm also here. Clothes on their heels, Cleo elbowed his way in, 2 bottles of wine in his arms. Looking at the 3 Goldberg family members, Luna instantly gave Adam a C. They organized a group visit to show care for a junior family member. You think too much, look. Eldest uncle, second uncle, even little treasure is here, come in. Adam had to obediently invite them in even if he wasn't happy to. Who asked him to have a low rank in the family? Chapter 97. After the 3 people came, things basically had nothing to do with Adam. Theo invited Michelin star chefs to come and cook for them, Cleo had brought 2 bottles of fine wine from home, and little treasure monopolized Luna. 5 people sat around the table in a strange atmosphere. It was fortunate that Cleo was here, which helped prevent an awkward silence. They ate and chatted idly. Come, let's welcome home our big star. Second uncle raises a glass to you. Thank you. By the way, I haven't been able to ask you yet, how do you know Luna? Cleo fished for information casually for his brother. Hearing this question, Adam's expression turned a little bad. It seemed he was reluctant to talk about it, and he replied vaguely, we knew each other at school overseas. We graduated in the same year. Cleo squinted at him, and spoke meaningfully. I don't think it was that simple, right? Don't tell me she was one of the ex-girlfriends you chased and then dumped? After all, the women around you, if they're not your mother or your fans, they're your ex-girlfriends. Adam. Luna laughed and gave Cleo a thumbs up. Second young master, you're brilliant. Oh, it seems I guessed right. Cleo was pleased with himself. As expected, there was nothing in this world that he couldn't guess correctly. Only half right. Adam contradicted with a blue face. What do you mean? Cleo didn't understand. She's my ex-girlfriend, that's true, but she was the one who chased me, and she was also the one who dumped me. Adam said, glaring at Luna in front of him like a bitter housewife. After he said that, there was a faint gleam in Theo's cold eyes, as he helped to cut up steak for Luna and Little Treasure. Even Cleo was stunned. After all, it was the first time his guess was wrong. He slapped his hands on the table with a bang, and asked excitedly, really? True or not? This doesn't make sense. Whatever Luna did when she was abroad, she couldn't have been as absurd as Adam this kid, so he always thought that of the two, he could at least be sure that it had been Adam who made the first move. Who would have thought that in the end? Adam poked angrily at a steak rib. If you don't believe me, you can ask her. Why did this issue have to be dragged up again when everything was going so well? Luna said helplessly, it was a complete accident. Cleo, who at first had simply intended to fish for information for his brother, was now thoroughly fired up by the gossip, and was insanely curious to hear more. What on earth is going on? Quick, tell me. Quick, quick, quick. Adam was speechless. You're an elder, should you be gossiping about your junior's private life? Luna saw how ugly Adam's face had become, and she also didn't intend to embarrass him in front of his elders, so she replied, nothing special. At that time, so many girls in the school liked him, and I was just one of them. As for breaking up, it was probably because after we got together, I realized he was different from what I had imagined, so I was a bit disillusioned. Luna's words didn't seem odd, but Cleo knew that things weren't that simple, otherwise Adam's expression wouldn't be like that. TSK, later I'll force Adam that kid to drink a little more wine, then see if I can get anything more out of him. Because Little Treasure was there, Luna didn't drink tonight. After she finished eating, she sat at the table feeling a little bored, so she asked, Mr. Goldberg, can I take Little Treasure to go play games for a while? Theo nodded. Go ahead. The way he spoke to Luna didn't seem very different, but it gave off the feeling that he was gentler with her than with other people. Adam looked gloomy. It was clearly his game console, and the latest equipment that he had specially brought back home, yet she asked another man for permission, and took yet another man to go play. Even if that man was only 5 years old. Chapter 98. 2 hours later, Cleo had sacrificed himself gloriously, but before he passed out, he still hadn't been able to get even half a word out of Adam that kid. In fact, Adam was also on his last legs, but it was clear that Cleo had been trying to get words out of his mouth, so he had endured until now. It was really hard having such a gossipy uncle. He had the vague feeling that there seemed to be some other reason for Cleo being so determined to figure this thing out, but his mind was mush by now, and there was no way he could think properly. Theo was the only sober one at the table. Theo called his butler over to pick up Cleo. Then he stood up and headed for the living room. The huge game screen had one big word, pass, on it. Luna and Little Treasure were sprawled on the sofa fast asleep. Theo walked over lightly. The girl held a white, soft little bun in her arms. Her sweet sleeping face made him want to impulsively give up all his fame and power, and just like this, accompany her in peaceful sleep for the rest of their lives. In the dining room, Adam in his thick haze saw Theo slowly lean closer and closer towards Ning X. His eyes suddenly narrowed, and he immediately regained his sense. Theo almost couldn't help kissing the girl's sleeping face, but he stopped at the last minute, and turned to Little Treasure to wake him up gently. Little Bun rubbed his sleepy eyes, his hair sticking up in bunches on his head. He looked cuter than usual when he had just woken up. Theo rubbed his little head. Can you walk by yourself? Little Bun nodded. Theo showed a satisfied expression. Then he bent to gently pick up Luna, who was still sleeping, and lowered his eyes to look at Little Bun. Let's go. Little Bun obediently followed his papa, without the slightest awareness that anything was wrong. Adam. Adam rubbed his eyes vigorously. He must be so drunk that he was hallucinating, right? That must be it. Why was Theo behaving so unusually? He had the butler come to pick up his younger brother, shook awake his son who had been sleeping soundly, was careful not to wake Luna up, and carried her back himself? Seeing Theo carry Luna in his arms, with Little Bun following behind him as they left, Adam still felt confused. In the end, he toppled forward onto the table, and finally passed out drunk. Goldberg residence. Little Bun wanted to sleep together with Luna. Theo, men and women shouldn't touch. Little Bun raised 5 fingers, which meant, I'm only 5 years old. Theo nodded. Very good, you know you're not a 3-year-old child but a 5-year-old adult. Now go back to your room and sleep by yourself. Little Bun. Theo's face became serious. Do you want to be Auntie Xiaoxi's darling forever? I can only get her to stay for 3 months at the most. If I can't marry her by then, she'll leave you for good. Hearing this, Little Bun's face finally changed, and he flattened his lips as if he had been wronged. He looked wistfully at Luna, turning back to look at her with every step he took as he finally left. Theo sighed softly. Although Little Treasure was his biggest help, he was also his biggest obstacle. It was fortunate that he could finally be persuaded for the time being. Theo gently laid Luna on the bed and took off her shoes. He then called the maid to come up and help change her clothes. In a daze, Luna felt she was back in her soft bed, and there was a blurry figure in front of the bed. Drowsily, she reached out her hand to touch that familiar presence. Theo. Goldberg, are you sleepwalking again? Theo had been taken aback when she had touched him of her own accord, and he immediately covered her small, warm hand with his own big palm. Yes. Luna frowned and muttered, it's a disease, should be treated. He chuckled in a low and husky tone, and kissed her palm. Only you can cure me. Chapter 99. Late at night, Public Relations Department of Glory World Group. Chris Wheeler was stressing over the scandal of Millie Holland driving while drunk and hitting someone, when his personal cell phone suddenly rang. He had been prepared to impatiently throw his phone aside, but in the next second he was frightened into a cold sweat when he saw the caller ID. He immediately flipped over to sit up, and received the call in a flurry. Hello, President Goldberg, my apologies. We're dealing with this matter, and will definitely solve it latest by tomorrow evening. What? The man's cold and distant voice came through the phone. It's about Millie's drunk driving. You weren't looking for me because of this? Chris was confused. So Big Boss wasn't calling this late at night to interrogate him? No. Chris immediately sighed in relief. He was really very busy, and President Goldberg had never gotten involved in the business of Glory World. Even if the matter involving Glory World's first sister Millie was a huge issue in their eyes, for Theo, it likely didn't make even the smallest ripple. So, why was Big Boss personally calling him at this time? Chris felt even more uneasy. So the reason you've called me? Make Mia leave the entertainment industry within 24 hours. Theo directly gave him an order. Mia? President Goldberg, which Mia is that? Starlight Entertainment. Hearing the voice on the other end of the phone, Chris was greatly surprised. So it was that gaudy-looking Mia who nevertheless had been hyped up by Starlight Entertainment as the #1 beauty in the entertainment industry? He had wondered what type of big shot it was. Chris was still bewildered, but he dared not ask too many questions. He responded readily. Yes, President Goldberg, I understand. As far as I know, Mia recently had a falling out with a female artiste in their company. The other party wasn't the good type either, and she had a lot of blackmail material on Mia. She really knew how to get someone else to do her dirty work, and she gave the lot to a big V gossip blogger on our company's operations team. Mia has offended too many people. This time, everyone's going to kick her when she's down. I reckon it'll be hard for her to get away. But if we want to force her to leave the entertainment industry, we'll need to fan the flames. Handle it quietly. Theo instructed him. Yes. Don't worry, President Goldberg. After hanging up the phone, Chris immediately passed everything he had been handling to the deputy director, then dealt with this matter himself. The matter this time really was too easy. Asking him to handle it was simply like using a sledgehammer to crack a nut. The artiste who had been fighting with Mia had already done 80% of the work, he just needed to deal the last blow. But she was just a small, B-list artiste. What on earth had she done for Big Boss to personally command that she be blacklisted? No matter how much Chris tried, there was no way he would have guessed that Theo's real purpose was not to blacklist Mia, but to support Luna, a little actress who was even less famous than Mia, and whose name till now Chris probably didn't even remember. The next morning, after Luna woke up, she was a bit confused. Why was she in the Goldberg residence? She clearly remembered that she had played games continuously with Little Treasure for 2 hours, and finally had been so tired that she had fallen asleep on the sofa in Adam's living room. While she was puzzling this out, suddenly there was a bang at the window behind the bed. Startled, Luna quickly went over to see what was going on. As soon as she opened the window, she saw a golden head. Black lines appeared on Luna's head. Adam, what are you doing? Adam, who paid the most attention to his image, was actually still wearing the same clothes from last night, now crumpled, and his hair was also a mess. He had an agitated expression on his face. Luna, get down here. I need to talk to you about something. Hurry up. Head aching, Luna sighed. She had known it wouldn't be a good thing for this person to know that she was staying here. He actually came running early in the morning to smash her window. Chapter 100. Jump straight down, quickly. Don't pretend to be a lady. Adam urged her agitatedly. Luna's mouth twitched with speechlessness. Placing her hands on the sill, she jumped down from the window. Adam immediately dragged her over, spun her around a few times to see if she had any suspicious marks on her, then stared at her with bright eyes. Did anything happen last night? Luna almost passed out from him spinning her round, and she said crossly, Adam, what's wrong with you? It's still early in the morning, shouldn't you still be asleep? I was sleeping so well, what could have happened to me? The veins on Adam's forehead popped violently. Luna. Are you a pig? Don't tell me you don't know how you got back here last night. I really don't know. Luna had an innocent look on her face. Adam took a deep breath as he calmed down. He gnashed his teeth. How is it you haven't been sold off when you're this stupid? Last night it was Theo who personally carried you back here. Luna was a bit alarmed to hear that, and immediately argued, so what? It was definitely because darling Little Treasure was reluctant to wake me up, so he asked his father to carry me back. Because it was like that time in the bar. Little Treasure wouldn't allow anyone to touch her except Theo, so she didn't think it was anything strange. Adam was half dead with anger. Luna, can't you be a little more careful? Theo obviously has a thing for you, okay? Luna sighed deeply, then placed her hands on Adam's shoulders, and said earnestly, Brother, this sister is aiming for the stars, I won't stop for the flowers or grass. Therefore, even if you kneel down to cry and beg me to become your eldest auntie, I won't give you this opportunity, okay? Please stop being delusional, go back, take a shower, and sleep. Hearing this, Adam's mood became very complicated. He sighed in relief, but at the same time, looked at her with confusion. Are you really prepared to be unmarried forever? What if you meet someone you like? Miss Little Luna, your way of thinking is dangerous and no good, do you understand? Let me tell you, even though work is important, for a woman, it's marriage that, Luna couldn't stand it any longer and kicked him. Adam, are you done? Did you deliberately come here to pick on me? It looks like it's been too long since your last beating that your body can't stand it. You just beat me up the day before yesterday. Obviously I didn't beat you enough last time. Today, this sister has to beat you into submission. Let's see if you still dare to spout nonsense all day. Luna rolled up her sleeves, ready to take action. Adam covered his head and fled in terror, but he suddenly looked behind her and said, "Uncle." Luna smiled darkly. "Rescue? However hard you yell today, no one will come to rescue you." Before Luna's devil claws dropped down, Adam shouted, "No, it's my uncle." Luna's back stiffened. She turned her head mechanically, then saw Theo standing against the light, dressed in a tracksuit. Sweat was rolling off his skin. It looked like he had just finished his morning run. Caught red-handed about to beat his nephew up, Luna racked her brains, then immediately pointed at Adam and opened her mouth. "Mr. Goldberg, this person came running early in the morning to smash your house window. In the end, I found out, and I was just about to help you beat him up." Adam stared at her. "Shameless. You still dare say you didn't?" Luna spoke in a righteous tone. Theo reached out a hand to remove a blade of grass in the girl's hair, then his big palm rubbed her head in a natural gesture. "Don't be mischievous, go wash up, it's time for breakfast." "Yes, right away." She made a face at Adam and ran away. At that moment, Adam really wanted to grab Luna and yell at her, once. Twice. 3 times. "Theo is so obvious, are your titanium alloy dog eyes blind?"